I was waiting to hear that. All right, so we are back reconvening from into regular session at 9:39. We went into executive at 9:29. So number 18, reconvened, discuss interaction needed as a result of executive session.
Motion to give the county judge permission to negotiate on property 112503.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And number 19 is a budget workshop. I don't have a ton to give you guys today. I keep putting it on here because things come up, as in the fairgrounds deal. So I did give you one recap in your packets here. That's kind of where things are sitting as of this morning, and what we're working with the budget. As you can see, I went back and balanced all of the lines on road and bridge and FM laterals, just to ensure that they're not in the red. General is slightly over, but that's with some one-time expense that we're gonna get with Miss Susan on some.
The month's not over yet.
Right, exactly. So that's kind of the update that I have. Miss Parker, do you have anything in reference to budget workshop today?
And so Annie Cole, like I mentioned earlier, they work with some one evidence of insurability. Once that was approved or denied, then they'll be able to provide them with the details I need to put in the budget book. And the details are there, it's just if anyone changed from a single plan to a family or a family to a spouse. So there'll be some slight financial differences, could increase, could decrease.
So we're right now, it seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're down into the cleaning up the little things. The big things are pretty much accounted for. So we're on track to have it in Nicole's office on the 15th, the proposed one by the 15th.
So this on the road bridge and FM Live, that has the increases of the.
Correct. Correct. Yes, sir. And right now it's 10%. Yeah. We were trying to get up there. Hold on, let me pull this.
Last time we talked about this.
I don't think I paid
Added like 250 each of us.
Yeah. Hold on, let me pull up the most recent.
Oh, wait, this looks a little different.
Nope, it's 12%. I apologize. It's at 12%. So you have general at 80, road and bridge at 12, indigent health at 8. I could print that sheet off if you guys like me to real quick. Give me 5 seconds.
Yeah, I didn't change from. Actually went down a little bit from the very first rendition.
How's that?
You had your last sheets coming.
No, it's me. So with, I mean, what is, over the entire road bridge. The ones from they as well. And what was that, this from you? No, that's right. Twelve percent, 50 cents out of all of them. We get 12% out of it, on the end gets. 8%. And then, which the rest of it is 8. Just like, it's just a small thing. Yeah. Shouldn't be that with the man. Relevant allocation sheet. And then I also had. Road and Bridge 1 is not the bus, the Bridge 2, 4. I don't know, oh, no.
So this is their, the tax changes that they made.
Correct.
Eats nothing. Spitting your eye, whatever.
Sorry about the copies. I printing out of Excel sometimes is iffy. And so one discussion that we did have yesterday in balancing out your road and bridge and FM lines, I had to take funds from capital outlay or whatever to make it balance. If you guys want to go through those and say, I need more in bridge and infrastructure, I'll move it from construction material to there. If you want to do some restructuring, that's fine. If you don't want to, and then later on in the year, you're going to do a budget amendment and move it around, that's fine. However you guys feel more comfortable doing it.
You cannot guess what you've done.
Yeah, and it was literally I had a number I had to get it down to, so I was trimming fat where I could find it. So it may not accurately represent what you guys would like as far as where those funds are located. You're just trying to balance those out. Thank you. And here's your FM laterals. That's what I do. That one. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole point of that exercise I thought was to increase our future and budget.
Well,
On both ones.
we can increase it, but I got to decrease it somewhere else. Does that make you know what I'm saying? If we increase your construction material, then whatever your other what is it, capital lease or whatever would have to decrease or. So somewhere else in the budget ate up the increases, I'm saying.
So. What was the underlying thought on behind the allocation of the change? Like the whole point of that exercise was to increase our construction material budget. And both of them went down and the money didn't go anywhere.
The money has to be somewhere else.
And who made that decision to move?
I did. So like I said, if you want to move stuff around in there, that's fine. But I had to make this ending balance positive. And so I moved numbers to make it positive. Now, within your budget, I'm almost positive I didn't move all of them the way you guys would wanted them within your budget, so you can amend them. Simply just write them down and tell me, and I'll change them however you want. But I do think it's important to have the ending balance on our recap page to be positive and not negative.
So
What are we looking at for our employees?
This is with a 3% and the 3% cost of living and the longevity.
3%.
Yes, sir.
Is this maybe dispatch or no?
Yes, yeah, this copy, the recap page that you have in front of you, it's the most recent. So yes, it would have the sheriff's office, their entire department's changes, which includes dispatch. It doesn't include what the sheriff wanted. The sheriff was asking for a 12% raise for dispatch. We did not do that. I included a 7% raise for dispatch. They still get the 3% cost of living as well. So that's where we ended up. Everybody, if we don't give everyone the 3%, then our gaps start shrinking in between positions. So the 3% has to go across the
How
board.
was that? I'm gonna go back for the constables for a minute.
Mhm.
How is that any different than their situation?
It's not.
I mean, we're not moving them up, but we're moving dispatch up. And giving them effectively a 10% raise.
We're giving them a 7% raise.
Well,
Everyone's getting 3. If we don't give them 3 and only give them the 7, then your gaps between your pay scales have now shrunk by 3%. Just like when the sheriff by structuring his pay scale, he got a raise plus 3%. Well, I didn't want to give the 3% on top of it because he got a raise anyway. But it's brought to my attention that if we do that, we start messing up our pay scales. So
well, I think we need to hear his gap presentation. We talked about that in the last 2 sessions.
Mhm.
Still don't know what it is.
Mhm.
And I think I know what it is.
Right.
But we haven't heard it
or seen it.
or seen it.
Mhm.
And if that's factored in here and we're funding all 4 of those step raises in all of those positions, I think we're dealing with this. But you said last time that is just for vacant positions.
It's for vacant this
And that's funded for all 4 steps for those vacancies.
correct,
And you said that was like
like 3 or 4
3 or
positions.
4 positions.
Right now, yeah, right now it's 2 they hired. So
Yeah.
So what it was,
Two.
where's the, what did in that budget, do we include step 1 and step 2 for the other positions or?
No, it's exactly where they're at. So with the open positions not being filled, you're having a savings in your budget right there. So when those are filled, you already have a surplus, and that'll allow the movement throughout the year, which Shane and I were discussing. For the jailers and the law enforcement and the dispatchers,
As they certify it.
as they certify.
Yeah.
Because you're only gonna jump, you can't go more than one step
In a year.
in a year, and you may not even make it one. Depending on the qualifications and the certifications that they need.
Step.
But they've got the room to hire step 4, the lateral,
For the
for the open positions, for the people that are there that are gonna level up. They're gonna have vacancies. That 2 months of vacancy is plenty of salary to take care of.
Step.
Right.
And even Susan has mentioned that the insurance is probably overfunded because of those vacant positions. And she had mentioned maybe only funding 95% of it, isn't that right, Susan, at one point we talked about?
We talked about it, we have done in the past, not funding 100% of the health insurance, just because there's a 1 month lag on paying for your health insurance, plus you have vacancies, so.
And so my thought was just leave it all as it is, and that gives you the flexibility to go from a 1 to a 2, or a 2 to a 3, 3 to a 4, rather than budget a particular position, one right now. That you may or may not use.
So. We're relying on those vacancies and changes to fund
To cover
the
the,
steps.
correct.
Now, if you were fully staffed, you could not do it that way.
Right.
Like in a scenario in my office or Susan's office, you have to budget specifically, even in Nicole's, because we have no vacant openings.
Well, if you fill those other vacancies, still be fully staffed.
Yes, but he will have a gap where he has not hired anyone because of the way it works.
So you have that 2 month of savings of salary.
Here in this station.
And again, gentlemen, I'm not married to any of these concepts. If you guys don't like the dispatcher deal, I'll take it out.
And then, Judge, was it my understanding the only people that were under paid was the sheriff's office ranking positions, because they were too close together? Everything else is just a pure pass, correct?
Correct.
So the separation between
The
the
saturation we had to do because it was incorrect, but everything else, as far as the number.
I
of less
I like the concept of having those steps and the separation is done, they weave it into the budget.
And it's nothing new, we do it on our side, we do it on your side, we do it on every department, that needs a staff increase. It's nothing new.
But it's just a presentation.
Just someday,
Just-
nothing new.
And they were prepared to be,
Culture.
they were prepared to be here today, but unfortunately.
Susan's capital raise on FM Lateral. Did you look at that?
I did look at that with Shane, you have a balloon payment, plus you have. One, I forget if it's the 4,000 per month motivator that comes up for a balloon in 26, or the 2,058, I don't know, one of those. Expire or has a balloon payment in 2026.
Well, the John Deere goes back this August. And that's it, I'm gonna turn that back.
This month,
Yeah. Yeah, that was in my original budget.
And how many blades will you have?
Well, if I get rid of that one, I only have 2. And I need 4. So. You know, with the construction material that I couldn't have done the road over there at 12. I could have done half of it. And done anything else in the precinct.
You have to put tires on that grader.
Huh?
You have to put tires on that grader.
Are you gonna have to put tires on that grader?
Yes. Yeah, all of them.
When I put my in.
I'll have to pay for it.
Two.
$18,000 to put tires on all of them.
Yeah, at least,
But I think the cheapest thing I could,
they're not cheap.
well, the cheapest one. Road and bridge was figured on what percent?
It's at 12%. And now that's mentioned this last night, but that for the last couple of years, you guys have been at 8.5 to 8.3 at one point, I believe, or 8.4.
8 or 8, yeah.
Yeah, so that's us getting creative, trying to get more funding your way.
Looked like it had been more.
Yeah, but it didn't, the last, we did that exercise, that's all that direction, it's just $250,000. And
Correct.
Carried over.
You did, but you were
To carry over.
$600,000 in the red over here.
Zero.
You had let's wherever you're at, right here. You were 600,000 over
I still might have-
in the red when we started that. No, in the figures, yes, in your ask, yes. Not official, yeah. And so to level that out, I had to cut from that. Yeah. So,
that's what we started.
Right. right. So I have to balance the revenue with the expenditures to make this. And that's how we got there.
Second. Sorry, I was keep it weak about 31 maybe it's that is second direction. That's no.
Yeah.
So this was doing 30.
Mhm. This was after, the other one was before.
So,
Right.
so. This was
What do you mean?
before we added 250.
Those are different.
What's
What's
the difference? Our 8
right?
is 905. This is 97.
So your total resources also includes your funds you bring in from the year prior. Your savings account. Right, so that's maybe where that's where you're seeing your loss. Yeah,
All you can do is make an estimate.
right.
So
So I don't even look at that column because I don't think it's a real number. I mean, it is a real number, but we don't know what it is. I'm only looking at revenues balancing with expenditures when I look at it. That makes sense. Now I understand what you were.
You can look at them numbers all day long, but they ain't gonna change much.
I can try to change them for you, but like you said, there ain't much to do.
well, we did all we could do by bumping that up
Yes, sir.
and going to 12%, but I just don't. It didn't make the same change that it looked like it made when we made it.
Right. Well, it wasn't clear because we hadn't balanced out these ending balances yet. Probably should have done that before to give you a better picture and not get your hopes up so much, I guess.
That's like my four, I've got four motorcycles. But I'm gonna keep repairing them to keep them going, to keep them having tomorrow. That's $300.
Well, I'm not buying any. So, it-
You know what I'm saying?
So,
May rent you.
Well, I'm gonna either that's in after this whole deal.
any marching orders or things you'd like to see going forward that you'd like us to do? Again, I'm gonna file the proposed on the 15th or by the 15th.
Well,
That's just my proposed, though. We
what,
can still change it. We've got time to change it.
you know, what's set up in my Effingham lateral. I'll go, you know, what I've got. And if I have to later on, then budget amendment, move it around.
Yes, sir.
So,
Certainly can.
cause I've gotta save that 50,000 for a lot if they ever get all the paperwork done.
Right. So, yeah, definitely we can, again, you can move it around if you need to. Just let me know. I'll do it, or you can budget amendment it later on. I'll file the proposed. You guys will get the whole brand new book to look through of everyone's stuff and the proposed. Yeah, and make the notes. We'll come back and talk about it again and go from there. So I don't think there's any action to be had on number 20, discussing or action required from the budget workshop. Right.
What's Mr. Dixon here for?
We're gonna talk to him later. He just came to watch us today. That leaves the final motion, sir. That leaves the final motion.
Boy, you don't hang around a little like.
Oh, my goodness. That's the first time in history. Motion. We're adjourned.
Hey.